Opening the doors to our children's future begins with the choices we make today. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to our esteemed parents for this session about career guidance. We are glad to have you here on this beautiful Saturday. The purpose of this session is to guide you in supporting your children navigate their critical choices. By working together, we can help them explore themselves in knowing their passions and strengths. With the right guidance and support, they will be able to make informed decisions that are aligned with their aptitudes and interests. Today, our expert from Arivu will emphasize on providing tailored counselling designed for every individual. Our speaker, Mr. Shamsundar, has been enriching our students from the past 2 years, guiding them to make the right choice. Without much further ado, I would like to take the privilege to invite Mr. Shamsundar on the stage. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before anything, I'll quickly introduce myself, Shamsundar. I'm a mechanical engineer. So I work for aircraft industry as aircraft wing designer, and post that I changed my domain to training and developing, where as an aircraft industry I worked for Malaysia and Dubai for 2 years of time. Then shifted to training developing. I was working for Google. Google was one of my client, where I was into training and developing for past 7 years. And from past 3 years after COVID, right, we are into career guidance, career counseling, this kind of workshop and as such. From 3 years we have done this workshop more than 250 plus schools, and we address nearly 28,000 plus students and nearly 15,000 to 16,000 parents. So usually a thought to the parent is 25,000 plus parents. Why only 16,000? Parent doesn't attend the workshop. They usually half of the parents attend, half the parent doesn't attend. At least you can see some good crowd here. Thanks for that. Right? Please clap for yourself for taking your time and coming. Okay. And we are associated with Chitrakoota school from past 2+ years. And most of the schools we have reached almost 800 plus schools. Most of the schools, when we go and tell about this workshop is good, important, you have to conduct all this kind of workshop, they tell it's not a part of curriculum. So that is left to their parents and all those things. So I've approached, usually many schools when we go 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, and then they tell we'll see later. If I'm not wrong, 2.5 years before I approached Chitrakoota school once, second time I came, and they said these are the most important topic to conduct our students and all those things. So you can give an applause for principal and management and for giving us also this opportunity to take forward this workshop as well. For 10th standard students, I think your children would have explained you that we have done all the career options for the entire year, where there are more than 350 plus degrees. We have explained everything in detail. A student who are in 9th standard, we have just given, and last year we just given an introductory of an career guidance, what is career guidance about, right? So we have addressed few important topic. The child who is in 10th standard, that is something called 40:5. The child who is in 9th standard, it is 40:6. So what is 40:5 and 46? I'll explain you. Your child next 40 years of life is going to decide the next 5 years. If they are in 10th standard plus 2 years and degrees minimum 3 years. That's 5 years based on the degree they choose. Engineering will be 6 years and MBBS will be 7 years from now after 10th. So minimum that 5 years is going to decide how your child's 40 years of the life is going to be. What happens? Most of the parents, we tell them to read, but we don't tell them the importance of why they have to read. Right? So that's why we have addressed all these things to your child. And the next 5 years plays very much important role in their life. Right? So two things will happen. They can enjoy 5 years, suffer for 40 years. Other option is they can be serious about their career for next 5 years, their 40 years of life will be fruitful. Right? So this is one of the topics which are conduct for both the grades 9th and 10th, and we also address a topic called investment and expense. Most parents fail explaining to the child the money what you spend on them is an investment. Right? So at least minimum you would have spent by time still then 10th standard or 9th standard, you would have at least spent for food, shelter, education 15 to 25 lakh rupees minimum. So we address them why your parents are spending money and why to take this seriously. So we address all this topic in detail to them. So there are 350 plus career options. When we explain to 10th standard students last year or 9th standard who are 10th now, their first question was, sir, you don't explain me, please explain to my parents. So that is why, because I was not getting time, I was asking time from ma'am that we need time to conduct for parental workshop, and it was very difficult to allocate time. So the students, the children question is, sir, you don't explain us, sir, you explain us later. First you call us parents, first you explain them. They require career guidance first, later you give to us. Why this is important is, as a parent, even we should get to know that how many career options are available. Right? So we'll be doing something called SWOT analysis for them. What is the strength, weakness, opportunities and threats? So they have to choose a career based on their interest and the strength and the skills what they have. But from generation to generation, from my grandfather to my father to me, how we have chosen is, if you score more than 85, take science. Below that commerce, no other option than take arts and humanities. This is not the way of choosing your career based on the marks. You should always help your child to choose based on the skills what they have. Right? So I'll be rushing out through all 350 degrees in half an hour of time. So I'll not be explaining much in detail. So parents who require this PPT, you can contact us, we can share it to you later. Because most parents, when I'm running through PPT, you take photos and all these things. So I'll give our email ID and contact number. You can contact us, so I can mail all these career options to you people, not a problem. I want to address before the two important topic. 92% of people in India are not happy with the job. Why? Because they all have chosen their career by chance, not by choice. I'm an engineer, so-called mechanical engineer, right? By chance, not by my choice. And also we should also help, and parents should get to know which field has demand. We should always help the child in choosing a career which has more demand, not which has more supply. For example, in Karnataka, every year there are 12 lakh engineering are getting passed out on an average. Campus selection is 40,000 to 50,000 or maximum 60,000 in all the branches. In that, 4 major branches they choose. That is computer science, mechanical, electrical and civil. But there are 135 different kinds of engineering. I'd been to so-called top universities, we had discussed with the conversation with the principals or principal from 20-25 years, and they tell maximum 20-22 engineerings are there, not much more than that sham. But there are 135 different kinds of engineering. Always help your child get to know their interest, and they have to choose a field which has more demand, not the field which has more supply. So there's something called BHMS, Bachelors of Homeopathic Medicine, BAMS, Bachelors of Ayurvedic Medicine, BUMS, Bachelor of Unani Medicine, BDS. Again, it has more scope. That's called a dentistry field. There are 8 different fields in that. So we in our website, there are doctors and a lot of other professional people. If you want to have direct conversation with any of these people, you can contact us. We will give their number. So probably you can have a direct conversation with them, because they have pursued their career in that field and they're working. So they'll give much more knowledge of that field. So you can take any career, you can contact us. We'll give the contact number. You can have a conversation later with them. Veterinary and animal husbandry has high demand compared to last 10 years and now, because the pet industry is growing. Right? So every alternative 3 houses or every 5 houses, there's a pet now. Down the lane, over a period of time, there'll be a situation where animals will be more than human beings at home, because that's how the industry is growing now, right? And okay, one request to all the parents is, right, any on Saturdays or any time when you have a holiday, right, rather than taking them to a mall or a movie theater or going to a relative's house, one request is, there is something called veterinary college in Hebal, right? So you can take your child there, so then you will get to know either they're interested or not, then they'll start having conversation with you people, right? Audiology and speech therapy, again it has high demand. The research or the case study tells that for every 1,000 newborn kids, 2 either cannot speak or cannot hear properly. I think everybody have visited Mysore Palace. Next time when you're going to Mysore Palace, Mysore, don't only visit the Mysore Palace. From there in 6 kilometers, there's something called All India Institute of Audiology and Speech Therapy. We know a doctor by name Deepa Shri. If anybody interested, probably you can visit there. So then your child will get to know, okay, there are a lot of other fields. Okay, then they'll start speaking, and then they'll tell what is my interest. So to get to know what your child is interested, which they feel they want to pursue further, or which career they want to choose, right? First they should know all these options. These are called pure science, where they become a doctorate, not doctor, where they get into research and scientist field. That is, microbiology will always have high demand, biotechnology, biochemistry, these are all the fields. There is something called BSc in anesthesia technology, which has high demand at present. The reason is, how an surgeon is important to an operation is equally important than anesthesia specialist and anesthesia technologist, because without them they'll not be further without them you cannot start the operation only, because they have to sedate a person. So they are highly paid as well. So I know one of the person, so they work in this way. He works for 5 hospitals, just sedate and come back. Whatever the operation cost, he'll charge 5% out of it. Minimum operation in Bangalore, if you, small surgery, if you go, minimum 5 lakhs they'll charge you. 5% of it is 25,000. 4 hospital or 5 hospital in a day, he'll make 21.25 lakhs. In a month, he can make 25 lakhs. So I was having conversation, most of them have done MBBS. What made you to choose anesthesia? Because everybody are doing that. I thought, let me do something different. Right now, some doctors are not earning that amount. So we should also get to know which has more demand, right? So this will happen when we have spent every weekly at least 10-15 minutes either on newspaper or some education, news or articles and all these things. You'll actually get to know which has more demand. Cardiac care, if probably on even on Sundays you can visit to Jaydeva Hospital. There'll be one person will be roaming with white apron. Either it'll be a cardiologist or cardiac surgeon. When you have a conversation with them, when your child has a conversation, they'll exactly tell, okay, either I'm interested or not interested, and how this field, or he might have taken some 2-3 attempts to clear the exams, and he will tell, this is all the mistake which I did, you don't do the mistakes. So this is called practical way of educating to a child. But most of the parents, when we conduct most of the sessions, sir, we cannot do all those things, we are paying money to the school, let school do that. Usually parents will play to us. But it is also an equal responsibility of a parent. Nutrition and dietitian, which has again high scope, as sports industry and movie industry are growing, right? They have high scope in this field. BSc in anthropology, and again has high demand. Food science, food technology, all these things, if you want to know more about this field, there is Bangalore University, next to National Law College, right? There are separate departments. So you can meet the HODs on Saturdays. So they'll explain about how this field is, what is the field is all about. As I mentioned, there are 135 different kinds of engineering. Year after, down the line of next 3 to 5 years, there'll be a child should have minimum of 2 degrees. Because the demand and competition is like that. Probably before 20 years, it was at least 10th, 12th something will get a job. 10 years and now it is minimum is, right now only the competition is minimum 2 degrees. So if your child want to become an engineer, probably you can tell them to take integrated engineering. If I do a mechanical engineering and masters my mechanical engineering, that will be 4 years plus 2 years, 6 years. If they do integrated engineering, that will be only 5 years. They can save 1 year of time. And by the time I finish my engineering, masters in engineering, that will be 6 years. By then, the other child who would choose integrated engineering, they already have 1 year experience in the market. Again, please don't tell your child to do computer science engineering. There are a lot of 8 lakh people are there. They are not even getting a job. The other engineering all comes under computer science only. Whereas animation and gaming design, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, all these comes under computer science. Hardly few people know that such engineering existing. And these are the fields: cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, data science, data information. These are all the fields which comes under computer science engineering. Rather than they choosing the normal where supply is more of computer science engineering, they can choose the other fields. Again, everybody, that's why I kept most of the degrees, common degrees at the end. Please don't do that. That is electrical engineering and electronics engineering. Whereas something called automotive electronics, which has high demand, will always have a demand. Especially now, because most of the vehicles are converting to electrical vehicle, right? And there is no proper engineers in that field. And there's a communication engineering, control engineering, digital engineering. There's something called sound engineering, power engineering. Next to Makery Circle, there is something called CPRI, Central Power Research of India. And next to that, there's Karnataka Powerhouse, right? On a Saturday, probably you can go along with your child. There's also, if your child is having a school ID card, it comes under Education Act as well. So child has a right to go to any universities and or any government sectors, right, to have a conversation with the person. So along with them you can go, probably you have to take a prior appointment or something. So you can visit in all these places. And the minimum salary is not less than 1.5 lakh rupees. Starting salary I'm talking about. Right, there's something called VSLI engineering, very large scale industries, or embedded design engineering, which again has high scope. In India it will be start growing. Why? Because very soon China-Taiwan war will be there. So chip problem will be there. So India is already started, lot of foreign companies have come to, right, manufacturing of chips and all these things will be, semiconductor industry and all these things will be in our country. There's something called mechatronics engineer. What is the advantage of a child studying in mechatronics engineering is, if I'm a mechanical engineer, I can apply a job in 4,000 mechanical industries. But if a child is doing mechatronics engineering, they can apply in mechanical as well as electronics. So they have to be a little bit smart in choosing your career, right? There's something called foundry and forge technology, right? It's a high demand field. Any manufacturing industry or manufacturing of any vehicle or any machineries, foundry and forge industry, they have to get into this field. That is mandatory. Or even aircraft manufacturing or even metro construction manufacturing, all this comes under foundry and forge. I've done my BE project in HL. So when I was having a conversation with the person who was guiding me how to do my project, he tells for mechanical there will be 10 or 12 posts every year. For that 80,000 or 80 lakh people apply for job. Foundry and forge technology, we have 120 plus openings, but only 8 or 10 people apply for job. Because nobody knows such degrees existing and there is so much of vacancy in that field. Right? This field will always have a demand. As you know, automobile industry is always a growing industry. Because Jaguar is different from BMW and Benz. All these things, they have competition. And that's how this industry will always, and this is all called evergreen industries or evergreen engineering. These are in civil engineering. Civil engineering is not, most of them know only this. There's something called coastal engineering, and right now the high demand engineering is survey engineering, structural engineering and hydraulic engineering. So these are the few fields. Cosmetic engineering, if you have a daughter who's doing a lot of makeup and all those things, rather than, you can tell them, rather than doing reels or Instagram posts and all these things, they can become a cosmetic engineer, and which has high demand and high scope. I can give an example of a company called Sugar Cosmetics. That's only hardly 5 years old or 6 years old company, and it's only $1 billion. It's only 8,000 crore industry. 8,000 crores that company worth is. Right? And I think most of them will be doing Lakme. Yeah, Lakme was known as Lakshmi Marketing Company. So Indian name is, but later they found this name is not proper. LAKM Enterprise, and they thought it's a foreign brand. This also we address to your child, which comes in entrepreneurship, and marketing and all these things comes in the commerce industry. We explain that to your child there as well. So these are all the other fields which have hardly few people know all this engineering exist. And there's something called perfumery engineering, uh, petroleum engineering. This will not be eliminated. At least for next 30 years there will be demand, because all the vehicle to get converted to electrical vehicle, they'll at least require another 20-30 years of time. By chance, any Malayalis here? Sir, where are most of your relatives, sir? Dubai. Correct. Very smart people. Right? I'll address this later. Right? So, that's how UAE and all these countries, they have with fuel and all this, crude oil and all these things, they have a high demand again. These are the combination of engineering. If they're interested in biology and engineering, they don't want to become a doctor, so they can choose combination of engineering. Aeronautical engineering will have again high demand and high scope. The reason is still now we have been importing all the aircraft and all these things, either defense or any other field. Year after the manufacturing will be going to be in our country. You might have heard about Boeing. There was an manufacturing industry near airport somewhere. Right? This is the first time, and Boeing is starting their manufacturing outlet apart from their country. And India is going to have, live about India, like in Karnataka, there is going to be another 11 more smart cities, 11 more airports is going to be down the line of next 10 years of time. That means this industry will be growing industry. So that's how we should know which industry is going to be growing industry, and also our child's interest and what is their ability and what is their skills they have, what is the interest especially, right? And next, down the line of 8-10 years, before it was state tour, country tour, world tour, here we'll be going to space tour. Going confirm, coming back I doubt. So that's how this industry, no, I'm just kidding. This industry is going to be a big, huge industry hereafter. Near Kormangla, there is called All India Institute of Astronautics or something. Right? Probably you can visit there as well. Right? So this has again high demand and high scope. That's how this industry fields are. And if anybody want to become a pilot or all these things, right? One of my cousin is in the next 3 more months, he'll be a pilot, right? Usually we have this, especially our middle class families, we have to study for pilot and all these things. We need more money. We don't have money. Better choose some other field, we usually tell. But what happens is, what he has done is, his father is a bus conductor. And they have spent around 80 lakh rupees. Simple. They have taken education loan. Once he has done with his education, once he joined for a job, from there he'll give 3 years of time to repay the loan back. Right? And once he's only in the domestic flight, per month he'll earn not less than 10 to 12 lakh rupees. So they can repay back in 1.5 year of time. And who was not responsible, since the education was put on his head, responsibility came, he studied properly. So most of the parents can use this one to your child as well. Right? Why? Because when there is a responsibility, right, they will do the things properly. But now there is no much response. That's okay. My parents' money. That's okay, sir. No problem. When I tell them, my parents are spending, sir, why are you worried, sir? They reply to us only back. Biotechnology field is like where if you want to do more research on the field, what are the technology things required for that? Biomedicals goes in the research field, in engineering as well. If you go to Biocon company also, there is a biotechnologies required, right? Biomedical people also is required in that industry. These are the few other. Marine engineering has again high demand and high scope. I have an article for all the degrees. Parents who required, you can WhatsApp us or you can mail us. I can share all these articles. These all like newspaper articles. This about engineering in naval architect. This about aerospace industry. And pharmaceutical industry will always an evergreen industry, because one or other disease will be there. Medicine is required. So this is the field. Mining industry, right? Recently they have found in Jammu Kashmir, I don't know how many metric tons of lithium, right, which is used for producing an electric battery, manufacturing electric battery. But problem is there is no equipped engineer, right, to do those mining process. So that's what that's what the country is telling. Rather than we calling other country people and paying them more, you people study, we'll pay you more. But nobody knows such engineering existing. So these are a few combination of engineering. They can do two engineering together. The high demand next in few years is nanotechnology, nano engineering and robotics. So these are the companies that can get into public sector companies. Once they do engineering, either they can write GATE entrance exam and they can do masters, or else after GATE exam, if they have a rankings, they can get into all these public sector companies. The starting salary is not less than 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakh rupees. These are the fields in commerce industry, right? Everybody know this. Can anybody tell me what is CS? Yes, when I ask students, they tell computer science, right? Which has high demand now. Company secretary. There's something called CPA, CMA, ICWA. Anybody are aware of actuarial science? A study of risk management. All this insurance company and all these things comes in actuarial science. Entrepreneurship, which has high demand and high scope year after, right? Portfolio management, investment analyst, and all these things. I'm just rushing through it because of shortage of time. If anybody required in detail of you can contact us, probably I can connect you to a CA, so you can speak to them in detail. BCom, there are 23 different streams and options in BCom. But BCom we know hardly 2 or 3 degrees. So these are the different options. Again, travel and tourism is a huge industry. E-commerce industry is again a very high demand. There's an article here. This shows in 2017 it was $39 billion. 2021 it is $84 billion. And by 2030 this is going to be $350 billion industry. I will tell how pathetic our condition, our country is in. So these are all the fields. If they choose BCom, they can get into these fields. India has only 2% of workforce skilled in comparison with 96% in South Korea, 45% in China, 50 to 55% in USA, 74% in Germany. If the 2% goes to 8% to 10% down the line of 10 years or 8 years of time, and at least minimum 10 lakh people get job in this industry. That is 112 million jobs. As I mentioned, it is not about only doctors and engineers can earn, and even when people have done arts and humanities, they can earn even more than doctors and engineers. There are few degrees here. One is called fine arts, psychologist, archaeologist. Archaeologist which has high demand. The reason is every country or every religion or every state want to prove that they are the oldest in the country or across the globe. And probably you can take your child, I'm not sure about the place, it's Kaladi or Keeladi, I don't know, which is in Tamil Nadu. Kaladi or Keeladi, I guess. Kaladi, right? So probably as you're going for a trip or something, you can take your child. And there's one more research which is happening in Mahabalipuram, right? So you can take your child, they'll get to know what is about archaeology field, what is this field is all about. There's something called LLB. To more about it, know more about in detail about this career, there's something called National Law College, which is near Bangalore University. You can visit there. And there's something called linguistic study, which has high demand and high scope. So who are doing this degree, they can earn more than doctors and engineers. I'll prove you in a while. Now let me take, I want to work in Russia. So I should know basics of Russian language if they're giving me a work visa. Or if I want to go and do my masters or my education other country, I should know that country's language. Then only they'll give me a study visa or work visa. Now, if I want to learn or go and work in Russian country, let's take an example. I have to pay 1 lakh rupees. They'll train me in 3 months basic conversation of Russian language, so that I can clear the interview, I can get my visa. My class will be every alternative days. In a day, if a person is taking for 8 of them, that is they are paying 8 lakh rupees. So alternative days, 8 plus 8 is 16. For 3 months, a person who has done linguistic degree, he earns 16 lakh rupees for 3 months. If you multiply into 4, that is 64 lakhs. Some doctors and engineers are not earning this amount. So that is what choosing a right career, what the child is interested, plays a very vital role. And if the child knows 3 languages like this, the child can earn 1.5 crore rupees a month, a year. And these are the other fields. Fashion technology, the top university is National Institute of Fashion Technology, which is in HSR layout, right? Right, 27th main sector 5. So probably you can visit there. And the passed out child from NIFT, their minimum salary is not less than again 1.5 lakhs or 2 lakhs. Why I am telling to visit the top universities? 2 options are there. If your child is studying from the top universities, if they work hard for next 5 years, they're studying from top universities, 500 company will come to hire them. If not, simple option, we have to take our resume and go to 500 companies. That's the only difference.